without further ado, again, this is the most amazing. Thank you very much.
Good. Well, I'm super excited to be at HST. Just so everyone knows, I get really pumped because, HST's wins are as NatGen's wins and vice versa. So really celebrating wins is super important because, Joe talked about the confidence piece, and you can talk about confidence all day long, but if you're not doing things to build that confidence and really, narrow in those neural pathways, it doesn't help, if that makes sense to you. So celebrate your wins with your team, celebrate wins for yourself, and I'm going to go over a lot of cool stuff today. So let's see. Okay. This one, right? Oh, it's the down one I keep forgetting. Okay. Here we go. So leading yourself and your team into the best OEP. Everyone knows, kind of like everyone's been talking about, there's so much going on in the industry that it's the best time and the best opportunity for you, your teams, to really make the most of it. Now, I was thinking about the room and thinking about all the people that I don't see and seeing the wins, and I got this intuition coming up, and guess what it is? Baller time. That was my thing. Baller time. The bonuses are insane. So your whole goal, if I was running a team, if I was a leader, I'm chasing those bonuses, right? And I'm going to show you guys how to get a blueprint on how to make sure you're maximizing every single cent, right? Because everyone wants to be a millionaire, right? But no one's willing to actually do what it takes most of the time. Roman is someone that I've known for a very long time. He knows I love movies. He knows I love sales movies. This statement from Wolf of Wall Street, which is a great sales movie, if you haven't seen it, it's awesome. Talk about hardcore baller time, right? But hard work beats talent every time. I do this all the time. I recruit, I talk to people, I bring people who have never ever had a sales career in their entire life. And I say, if you're willing to do what I say, again, do what your leaders say, work hard. I don't care if you have no talent in the world, because I'm going to show you how to be talented. I'm going to show you how to make money. Anyone can make money as long as they're willing to be coached. Everyone has people on their teams or things like that. Those people that aren't willing to be coached, they're the worst, right? You're just be coachable and I can show you the way, right? And that's a whole nother topic on people's limiting beliefs that keep them from being super successful. About you, we talked a lot about limiting beliefs for a very long time. And it happens all the time. So start to hear what you say to yourself as well throughout this OEP. Listening to your customers is probably the best sales skill you can ever have, ever. I tell people, if I can teach you one thing, it's how to use both ears and close the mouth, right? I don't know who said it, but we got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listening is hardcore in sales. So many salespeople want to bulldoze through their sales script, and by the end of the call, the client's like, "What was that copay again?" And you have to go back, and it's because we're not listening, right? So when you're on the phone and you're listening to phone calls, whatever it is, if you're on the phone, you've got to start to recognize the feedback that you're getting from the client. When you recognize that feedback, if you're getting a lot of questions like, whoa, so I have to pay $10,000 before the insurance starts, you're doing it wrong. And don't be mad at yourself. That's just feedback. Wait a minute. I'm not explaining this correctly. I'm not going down the path that I set myself up for. And if this isn't ringing a bell, trust me, you'll be getting some coaching from your leaders and things like that on the scripts and stuff along those lines. So listen to your clients, super important. Always provide value. Anyone ever called, the cell phone companies or Comcast or something like that, and you just get someone who's having a bad day and they're just not helping you at all? Anyone here have had a bad sales call? Come on, you guys all every time, right? And it's because either one, they're not in the right position, right? They're having a horrible day and they're going to take it out on you, right? But it's about providing value. How can I help you today? Because when we are being of service, you will always get paid a ton of money. But it's about being of service, okay? I don't know if a lot of people in here, I know Roman has, but there's a whole saying that we like to say, and it's called giver's gain. And I'm kind of going on a tangent there, but the more you give on the phone, the more you will get back, okay? That's a fact. So getting your mindset right, that's what this whole thing's about. Why wouldn't this OEP be the best of your career? OEP, AEP, whatever you're doing, Medicare, open enrollment. So what you got to do is start with your vision. Get with yourself, see what your vision is for the next, 6 months to a year. Then tell your leader, tell someone you trust so they can hold you accountable for those things. Okay? This OEP is going to be killer. 12-month short terms back. That's amazing, right? You should be pumped. If you're not, ask yourself why. Why don't I care about that? Let me check in with me. What do I care about? Because when you find out what you care about, that's where you're going to make the money, right? Baller time. I'm going to say that this whole time. Okay? So we're going to play a little game, which some of you have definitely played this before. Let me just make sure I don't want to ruin it. Because this is my first point about listening, okay? Listening is very key. When I tell you it's the #1 thing you can have in your sales kit, there's no way around it. If you're not a good listener, you won't sell, okay? Here's the thing, the 20-50-90 rule. The more you talk, the less they listen. Right now, as I'm talking, you won't even remember what I'm saying. And I'm going to give you an example. So pens down really quick. For you guys at home, I'll just trust you that you put your pens down. I'm going to play a fun game. I'm going to say a whole bunch of numbers. I want you to really concentrate on these numbers, okay? Ready, guys? Are you ready? You guys awake? Ready. Okay. Baller time, okay?
That's right.
Yes. 4, 18, 21, 28, 100, chicken, 98, 72, 19, 2, 68, and 32. So you guys all remember those numbers, okay? All right. What I'm saying?
Your social?
That's my social. Yep. So again, it's about listening. The more you talk, the less they hear, and the less they're going to remember. Now, who here, raise your hand, who can repeat those numbers back to me? Let's test it. Who can repeat them? What did you guys actually hear?
Chicken.
Louder. What do you hear? Chicken. So let me give you the analogy. You're going along, talking about deductibles, talking about emeritus dental, talking about short term, talking about all this stuff. The second your client hears chicken, they stop listening. And when I say chicken, that's you talking about a deductible and they don't really understand because you're not taking the time to explain it, right? So the second they don't understand whatever you're talking about, they literally shut down. They stop listening. That's why when you get to your end of your pitch, you think you got the sale on the line, you're going to sell all 4 policies. You're like, that's a huge sale. And they're like, can you tell me about the preventative benefits? You've literally, when you talked about preventative benefits, your client statistically, this is not made up, this is fact, literally stopped listening to you. You just wasted another 40 minutes of your time, right? And let me tell you why. It's because all you have to do is check in. And that's why we're going to talk about scripting. We're going to talk about how you actually organize your setup so you're not doing that. And guess what else? HST, VeloPoint, NatGen, all these people, the reason that we're so good is because we take the time to do these things, right? You want to be 10% than 90% of the agents out there. If you're going to be in this business, right, you've decided that these are the type of problems you want to solve. And they're super high paying problems to solve. Does anyone know any doctors? Well, I know a lot of doctors. I used to want to be a doctor before I moved to Oregon. And you know what? It's literally $500,000 in debt, 7 years of school, and the first year out, you make 160 grand. Guess what? You can come solve insurance problems and make triple more. That doesn't even make sense, but you can make a lot of money, without all the stress, right? So it's about what kind of problems do you want to solve as an individual? For me, I love insurance. I got pictures all over. People send me mugs. I love insurance because it's a problem I'm willing to solve for the amount of money I get paid, right? All day, every day. But then, as many people in this office know, it's repetitive. It's day in, day out. So you have to do your due diligence on your own self and be like, wait a minute. Each call is new. Each client is different. How can I be of service? What can I do better? That call didn't go so well. Instead of being super pissed off, right? Ask yourself, what can I learn from that call? It's all about learning. What can I learn from that call to do better? How can I be better to my team? What can I do better? What can I do better? That's the question. I call them high quality questions. I call them mastery orientation. And we can talk more about this at another time as well. But avoid that chicken drill. Let me tell you, The second they hear chicken, they stop listening. So you have to start to notice when you're on that phone, right? And you're going 50 miles an hour. They don't know anything about insurance. That's why they have you. They know nothing about insurance. You should see me going to get my car fixed. I'm like, what? How much is it going to be? I'm confused, right? Then you get that good mechanic who's like, let me show you. So this is how it works. And you're like, oh, I understand, right? And that's why people don't switch mechanics. So you want to be a person who never switches insurance agents, right? And it's about listening. So the battery's running low. Uh-oh. Baller time. Can I keep going? Or? Okay, great. All right. As you can see, I get very passionate about insurance, right? So it's about what are you passionate about, right? Because no one wants to sell insurance, right? We've decided along the way in our lives, hey, that's a problem I'd like to solve. And guess what? That problem makes me a ton of money. And what am I going to do with that money? That's the other piece, right? Get your vision straight, write it out. What do you want? Because if you don't know, you were on the phone basically as a CSR, which I call someone just taking acts, right? You don't want to do that. You're salespeople. Avoid that chicken drill. I'm serious. Start to notice. Even if you're the number one person in HST, start to notice what your team's doing. When are you not listening? When can you listen more, right? I tell agents they should be listening about 1.5 minutes on the call in the very beginning. And I'll go over that. Keep it short, keep it simple, keep it concise. It's the same every single time. That's the best part about what we do. It's the same. Okay? Cross-selling. Who here knows about cross-selling? People, Tammy, oh yeah, yeah, sure do. Okay. Cross-selling is a big deal. So you've all seen this before, right? Right? You go to the store, you go to the restaurant, you get cheeseburger, shake fries, whatever, right? Or let's say you go there and you're like, oh, I just want this. And like, well, you can get fries for 99 cents. You're like, sure, right? Okay? It's kind of what we do, but we do it in a much better way. I call it the no-hide sale. The way that you cross-sell is you tell clients what is bad about the insurance. Hey, here's what's not covered. Let me tell you why I'm so good. Thank God you got me. People still say that. I pick up the phone and I'm like, thank God you got me. Because like Joe was saying, honesty, integrity. I'm going to tell you why this insurance is not going to work for you and you're going to be mad and call me. And I'm going to show you a way to cover it. Is that all ringing a bell? Okay. So obviously you got your health insurance. This is also limited med, your short term. That's what I call the first leg. That's what everyone's calling about. That's the opener, right? You're really going in, you're talking about it, you're saying this, that, you're looking up doctors. I mean, you're doing a lot of work, a lot of problem solving, right? And obviously, we sold over 50% of our sales last year for VeloPoint, the company I work for, was all short term. You're going to be selling even more short term this year because it's 12 months and there's no mandate, right? So if you didn't know that, again, do the research, do your homework. It's going to be a lot less expensive to get a short term all year. Right? Major medical is going to be very expensive. So then you got your accident. This is also, the CBLs, your critical illnesses, your cancer, heart, and stroke, and then you've got your dental. Okay, that's the main part, right? So you just want to make sure, and I'm going to go over the next part. But you want to make sure you have this in line. You don't talk about dental until you talked about your health insurance, and I'll tell you why. But also, some stuff's coming up for me that I can tell, like when you're on the phone, right? Has anyone had a customer who thinks they know about health insurance and they're trying to prove you wrong? Like, no, I saw this plan, blah, blah, and they're getting out of control. Have you guys had it? Okay. I want to make sure that agents know and your teams know that they understand because you're solving such high level problems, right? This is your career. That you can ask your clients for requests. I think that agents get so bogged down, like, oh my gosh, this call's, $50 a call and this client's being super crazy or you're being triggered by that client. You can always, I tell people all the time, ask your client, hey, you know what? I feel like we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. Can I ask a request of you? The client's not gonna be like, nope. They're gonna be like, yeah, sure, what's going on? I wanna get you all the information. So I'm hoping that you can grab a pen and piece of paper. We're gonna reset. I'm gonna answer all your questions, but can I go first? And then you talk after. Does that sound like a plan? You have to reset those calls. Clients who are calling you angry and bugged, those are your biggest sales. You should see how crazy I am when I go, nope, I don't want to buy anything. Get out of here. I walk out with the most stuff every time. Every time. Though I won't even go to the mall. Those kiosks, I'm like, do you want a job? Because you're really good. Because I'm always buying all the lotions. This is from the Mediterranean Sea. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, right? Salespeople love to be sold, but when you have a normal customer on the phone, you gotta do the baller time. You gotta interrupt what they're used to, right? They don't know anything about insurance. It's your job, okay? So make sure you're doing requests. So cross-selling is very important because when you set it up correctly, you're gonna be able to cross-sell more than everyone else. Just so you know here, especially you people with big call centers, right? If you have call centers, you have 5, 10, 15 people under your team, sometimes 20 people under your team. We here have a much less big team, and we sell 2.7 policies per customer, and that's been for years. And I'll tell you why here in a second, because we do it in a way that you win. It's all about win-win. Win-win for you, because you're solving the problems and you get money. Win-win for the client, because they're getting a great plan, and when they break their arm, they're not looking at a huge bill, right? They get cancer, heart attack, stroke, something like that. They're like, thank God I had Roman. I'm calling you, I'm freaking out, my husband hurt him. Okay, hold on. Let me get you all this good stuff, right? So let's keep going. Not one of those long. Okay. Because you actively listen to your clients, obviously you provide value to them by giving them the complete insurance package that fits their needs. We love saying insurance packages, but you can use your own thing. You know, we break down every policy, we talk about the differences, we talk about the difference in costs, but it really comes down to using a script. Now, I know for a fact HST has some amazing scripts. I know that they do, but guess what? Agents, sometimes we're not on baller time, right? Like, no, I do what I do and it's great. But what I'm asking you is that if this OEP should be your best OEP, not should, can be. And it's up to you, right? So revamp that script, mastery orientation. What can I do even better than last year, this year? Think about what worked last year. What didn't work? Reevaluate that, right? If things didn't work last year, I hope you're on a plan to make those things work this year. Like, okay, we're not doing that again. We're going to go this way, right? It's very important. And when you want to sell, you got to use the script. Why do we use scripting? Again, even right now, I can talk all day long, right? And I am, and it's fun. I like to talk, super great, right? But my intention is for you to get maybe 1 or 2 things. That's all I can ask of you in this setting. 1 or 2 things to actually use in the real world, right? You're only going to remember 20% of what you hear. That's anywhere. This training coming up, you're not taking notes. It's in one ear, out the other, pretty much. That's where you got to grab that pen and piece of paper. Now it's up. Now I'm going to remember 50%, right? So then 90% of what we practice. That's why I like scripting. But if you're following me here, if you have a client on the phone, and chicken is a big thing, right? You say something confusing, they're going to stop listening, right? You got to make sure they have pen and paper. Now you, as the problem solver, are upping your chances of not having any problems during the call. They have an activity. They're writing stuff down. They're paying way more attention to you, right? And then year after year after year after year, you help them with their insurance. They will never leave you. They will give you all the referrals. They were like, no, my person's the best, right? And that's what we want. So using a script, my main thing on this is, people love to just blurt out deductibles. Now here's the deal. Many of you, there's literally, I think the saying is there's 100 ways to skin a cat, right? There's a lot of ways to be successful. So if something's working for you, great. I just want to make sure that if you have new members on your team who are just getting licensed, things like that, you got to do newbie hardcore baller time. Like, hey, you want to be a baller? Do this. You should never be talking about deductibles out in the open. You've got to do things by example. So I'm sure your scripts have this. This is just for you to look at. But the only way that I've ever sold insurance, and Roman too, about you too, is by saying this. Here's the part of the plan, Kenton, where you would owe money. Put a star on your paper. This is the most important part of the insurance. Client, okay. No one else is doing that. That's what makes you better. Put a star on your paper. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a $100,000 bill, okay? This particular plan that I'm looking at, let's say it's NatGen short-term, it doesn't matter what it is, has a $5,000 deductible. Then the insurance company comes in at X, right? Now, Kenton, on that $100,000 bill, you're gonna be out $7,000. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
Okay, now here's the deal. Because you got me, thank God you got me. I'm gonna make sure, as much as I can control, that you're not out that $7 if something major were to happen accident-wise, heart attack, stroke, cancer. Let me explain. And then you go on your accident. But if you don't explain it that way, it gets very confusing. There's no examples. People think in pictures. We think in pictures till we're 8 years old. So when you want to talk about insurance, you've got to give them a picture. When you go to the doctor, this is how it's going to happen. When an accident happens, this is what's going to happen. So they know how to use their insurance. I still have clients from back at my very first company in 2004 that email me on LinkedIn. I still got that accident insurance. And I'm like, good God, I've seen no money on that. You know, like, right? No money, right? But you're in a better spot, right? Because it's baller time. We're going to collect every dollar, every penny, whatever you can do. Scripting is the way to go. If you don't have your, basically, if you don't know how to describe the deductible portion of the insurance, we got to get on. I love it when you guys laugh. This is the best. You got to get on your deductible presentation. Perfect it, practice it, really get on how to explain the deductible, because that's the hardest part. If you're not explaining the deductible properly, you can't cross-sell. You just can't. This has $10,000 deductible. Oh, but there's this accident plan. Did you need dental? It's like, what? What was that, right? And trust me, that happens all the time. It happens all the time. If you want to cross-sell properly, really dig deep on what's not covered by the insurance. And then you can easily be like, thank God you got me. You have an accident covered. You have heart attack, stroke, cancer. This is how it's going to work. Boom. But if you can't talk about those deductibles, you mess yourself up, right? Or they hear chicken hardcore. They'll hear chicken if you don't do examples. How does that work? I'm confused. Can you send me some information? Who's heard send me some information? Guess what that means? That's feedback for I didn't do my job right. Nobody wants information. There's nothing to email. You want to look at those brochures? Sure you are, right? But the best part is actually when that happens, use that feedback to your advantage. Every call is a chance to learn something and do better. So pay attention to the feedback that you're getting. Why didn't I get that sale? Let's see what worked. I did really well until he threw me for a loop at this point. And then you can adjust. It's about adjusting. Mastery, okay? All right. Using a script, obviously I just went over this. Make sure you have the least amount of money. Make sure you're asking your clients to grab a pen and piece of paper. You will make more sales just by doing that one thing. Asking your clients to get a pen and piece of paper. They are going to retain 50% more. Okay? And then you have those great clients who are A-type like us. Like, oh, I already have a pen. Awesome. Make sure you're praising your clients too. Like, I'm so glad you called. Thank you so much. Like, I know it's really difficult to talk about insurance. I'm here to lessen the burden, right? We are problem solvers who lessen the burden of hardcore insurance. Has anyone had a client with a serious claim? Like a serious claim. Like, those people become your best friends. Or Jessica Francis's best friend, the back office people that deal with it, like, oh my God, this lady, thank God she had the insurance. We have internal people who, thank God they got that Colorado bankers, you know, because those things are helping them in ways you can't even begin to understand unless you experience it. Okay, now when I talk about baller time, it's insane. Like, I'm super biased. I've been doing this a long time. So when I see someone selling 6 policies, I'm like, get after it. Like, this is something that you can do every single week. And the way that you set yourself up is by setting intentions, and I'll talk about that. But if you're not looking for 2 people a day to buy something, you're doing something wrong, right? And it's not good, bad, right, or wrong, but it's baller time. So now's the time to make all the money. This is any combination, right? You know, you sell 2 NatGen meds, 2 plan enhancers, 2 dentals, $370 monthly package. Obviously, you're making about $1,032 a week. That's like insane, right? Roman could do that in a half an hour, right? Now, he will, right? There's so much that he has to do to set up his business correctly, and he's a lot of teaching and a lot of stuff. So making sure you set yourself up right so you can literally take advantage of all of this. If Dan Mac told me that I could do all of this stuff, I'd be on it, right? If I have a full-time job, right? Come on, that's funny.
I was so gonna talk to you about that.
So here's the real thing that I like, okay? Now, we do it conservatively, right? Because there are people in HST who do extremely well, like head of plastic surgery well, right? Like hardcore, I could be a movie star well, right? And they're in hardcore all the time. And the deal is because they have a strategy that works and they chase bonus. If you're not chasing bonus, you're just doing it. You're not setting yourself up to win. I gotta stop saying doing it wrong, because there's no good, wrong, right, or bad, right? It's about where's your vision and what do you need to get there, okay? Because what matters most, Roman? Mechanism or intention? 100%. 100% intention is all you ever need to reach any goal. So here we go. Look at all this. You sell 9 policies a week. I'm talking 9 policies, okay? Any combination here, obviously you guys have your own calculators, your own math and stuff like that. And you look average sale, premium, AV, first year comp, advances, second year, whatever you're on. But you're gonna make about $141,000 in that first year. Now, because you are 10%, the 90% of every single agent out there, because you're listening, you're using scripts, you're being of service, right? That second year looks damn good, right? Then look at that third year, right? This is about getting past the bell curve. Here's what happens to new agents. I've seen agents fly out of the gate, crushing it, making so much money, right? Then stuff gets hard. They forget their way. They forget their vision. They get mad at the customer. Oh, the customers are such assholes. Nope, they're not. It's because we forget that these are the problems we want to solve, right? So it's about resetting, right? Reset and keep this vision in mind. Doctors don't make this for about the 3rd year in. Doctors. Right? And it's funny, it kind of all quarterly, comes back around, right? Because we're selling insurance where doctors are going to, be paid to use that insurance, right? So it all works, right? So just know that. So there's tons of money to be made. If you don't have something like this, who doesn't have like how much money they want to make next year? No one's going to admit that. I get it, right? You don't have something, post-it notes, come to my desk. There's a million post-it notes on my desk. I'm about you, notes. What's this one today? Oh, new thing. I was feeling a type of way. Got to write it down. Put the amount of money that you want out there and then invest in somebody who can be your accountability partner. And I'll end with that. You have a leader, you have a best friend. I see that you ladies are like super connected. Really do 2 things. Celebrate wins. You know what? I had a really difficult client yesterday, but I didn't lose my shit. I stayed calm and I sold her 4 policies. That's a huge win. Huge. Every win you celebrate gets you more confidence. Every win. Celebrate wins, talk about strategy, and then get off the phone and say, I'm going to kill it. I'm going to kill it. Or whatever positive thing that you need to say. Okay? All right. So if you don't have a moneymaker around, get one. Get with your leaders. How much money can I make in the next 6 months? How much money am I going to make in OEP? Because technically, if you're just doing this, you should make about 70 grand during the OEP time. That's right? That's baller time, right? Who's going to be upset if they make 70 grand during open enrollment? About you, yes. So about you wants to make 100, maybe 120, right?
In 6 weeks.
In 6 weeks. And you can. How much time are you putting in? Now, here's my most important part. I got to hurry up. I know. Gouchy wants to make over 70, right? Most of you are not going to be upset if you make 70 grand in that time. You've got to get the numbers down. Like Joe's always talking about, what's your due diligence? What's the blueprint to get there, right? How many policies am I going to sell every day? How many policies am I going to sell every week? Am I writing it down? And does my accountability partner know? Because when you do it, then what happens is we got to do the human part of our lives, right? Success formula is super important. Knowing all the numbers and what you need to sell is important, but guess what else is? Sleep. Staying up too late on a Tuesday watching Game of Thrones, having to go to work at 7 a.m. isn't going to work, right? Food. Are you even eating food? Are you taking breaks? Are you standing up? What are you doing for food? Are you preparing? Are you on a special diet? Like, oh, well, there was no food, so I just went a whole day without eating. And no wonder you're cranky with clients. You haven't eaten any food, right? It's a big one. You gotta take breaks. I know I'm talking those lazy breaks, like, oh, I'm taking another break. Just take a quick break. Do your bio stuff. Get your head right, because if you really want to be a baller, you've got to do these things. People are super successful, have a daily routine that they follow day in and day out. I wake up almost 25 minutes earlier than I can because I got to be with me for a minute. I come in here and there's 1,000 people wanting questions, 1,000 things I have to do. So I got to be with me. I got to calm and centered. I got to have my bulletproof coffee. You know, I got to do all the things that I like to do. So I can be, basically be someone who provides a service, right? I can't provide services for other people if I'm not taking care of myself. It doesn't work like that. You've got to do for you and then for others, okay? That's why the airplane, put a bigger mask on first, then take care of the children, right? It's not selfish, it's what works. Talk with your spouse, your friends. Listen, dude, I know that we're best friends, but come basically October 15th or November 1st, I'm MIA, buddy. The way you can support me is send me some food. Only call me at nighttime. See me at the weekend, right? You've got to set your life up right. And again, this goes back to asking for requests. So many people just don't ask for what they want. Ask your friends and family, I'm requesting that you don't call me from the hours of 9 to 5 because I'll be too distracted and I'm on baller time. Do you want to know what baller time is? I got a job for you. Right? Now, obviously, you know what I'm saying. Get with your people. Talk to them. They want to support you. They want to. Okay? Be kind to yourself. Again, with the wins. I'm using Roman as an example because Roman and I have worked together for 11 years. So, Roman, can I use your example? Roman, man, Roman used to get so pissed. Like, so pissed. Like, God! I mean, he'd get so mad. And I'd be like, what is going on? Like, get back to the facts, buddy. And he'd get to the facts, and it was always something else. Like, who knows? He didn't get enough sleep, or, you know, he's doing the same thing over and over, and he can't find the fun in it, right? But then he would be super mean to himself. Like, I can't believe I was mean to that client, or, oh God, this is the worst. And what happens is when we do that, it's the opposite of building the confidence, right? It does the neural pathway of, and Roman converses, it's like, I'm bad. I've had a thing like, I'm bad, right? There's no I'm bad. So what happens is, when you have a bad day, when you don't do well on a call, it's about compassion for yourself, for others. Like, you know what? I can still make a mistake and be a good person. I can still, you know, travel down this road and, you know, mess up 10 calls, and I'm still a good person. I'm okay. So you've got to be compassionate with yourself. With anything, start to notice how mean you are to yourself. If you're anything like me and Roman, you'll start to hear that little voice and be like, wait a minute. No, that's not true. And we can talk about that another time too. Good luck. So the best thing about a success formula, and when you set those goals, like, okay, I'm doing 2 policies a day. I'm finding 1 client to sell a day. I'm selling 2 clients a day, whatever it is for you, right? Look at your numbers. And then when you get to Friday, you need to baller time. You got to cut out some time on Saturday to go over what went right and what went wrong. Okay, I didn't hit goal by 1. What could I have done better? What was off from all of these things? Where did I not read the script, right? So I just say, like, if you're off track, you got to look back. The reason we have success formulas, and I write mine down line by line, like, go to sleep by 8, make sure I call, 10 callbacks back, whatever it is for you. But if you're off and you've got to jot it down, you'll be able to see where you missed. You don't have a success formula. You don't know how to explain deductibles. These are awesome ways to get started. If you feel like you could do better on every single call, reset up the script, practice with a buddy. Your accountability partners are very important during open enrollment. Because who else do we have? No one else understands unless they've done OEP, right? Like, I don't understand why you're so busy. What do you mean people are calling? You're like, oh my God, I can't even explain to you. You have no idea, right? Okay. All right. What's this one? Oh, intention. You got to set intentions. I set intentions every day. Even when I'm sitting there next to Jessica, I was like, you know what, I think for this group, I just want you to take two things. Two things, I want you to be super pumped. I want you to get very excited about chasing the bonuses that they have. And I want you to set up a number of amount of money they want to make. Because here's the deal. Who was that top guy, Joe? That top guy with the number one guy for the week? 30 apps? Don?
Brian
Right
Dow.
now.
Brian Dow. So I don't know what Brian Dow's got going on, right? But I do know this. We all have the same job. So that's the best part, right? If Brian Dow can do it, there's no way on earth you can't do it. Because we have the same job. Now, does he use more resources? Does he get more resourceful? Sure. Why not? Ask one of the leaders. Hey, what's he doing that I'm not? How can I do better? What can I learn? Help me, help me, help me, right? Don't be annoying. They don't like that. But, you know, get resourceful. If you don't like your leads, change it. You don't like the clients that you're getting, move on. Do something else, okay? So really stay focused. Really set an intention for today. I'm going to sell 2 people. Today I'm going to make sure to eat food at noon. That can be as easy as your intention can be that easy. Okay? Don't overdo it. Dailies are successful, and I'm done. I don't want to say, I'm sure I was a little long, but that's okay.
No, are you kidding me?
I was
That was-
okay, good.